I'm not a lawyer, but today I attended in person the part 2 preliminary hearing for ASAP Rocky. So let me give you the recap of what happened. Okay, so 2 things. Number 1, if you haven't watched my recap on the first day of this preliminary hearing, go watch that and then come back to this video. The second thing is, yes, I was in the courtroom, but because I'm not considered press, I couldn't record anything myself. So I'm going to use the recordings from some of the other journalists who were in the room. Okay, so the witness for today's hearing was Detective Frank Flores, and he led the investigation for this case. He testified about the camera footage that was retrieved for this investigation and noted that in this first video, it appears that ASAP has a weapon in his hand. He also talked about the second video, according to his investigation, is when the actual discharging of that firearm took place. And then the last video is audio of the alleged firing. On cross-examination, ASAP's attorney noted that the firearm was never retrieved. The officers never found any shell casings in the area. Apparently, the victim went back to the scene and he's the one who found the shell casings after the police didn't find any. And that video I just showed of the alleged discharging of the firearm isn't really clear, so you can actually never tell what's happening or who is doing what to whom. ASAP Rocky's attorney also noted that the victim in this case went to the hospital 2 days after the alleged incident.
Mr. Efron told you that he believed he was grazed on his left hand knuckle area, correct?
Correct.
Okay. And despite supposedly being grazed by a bullet on November 6th, 2021, Mr. Efron didn't seek medical treatment until returning to New York.
That's correct.
Okay. So he waited to fly all the way across country to receive medical treatment for a shooting that took place in Los Angeles, right?
Yes.
As a reminder, in case you didn't go watch the other video, the claim is that ASAP Rocky allegedly discharged his firearm 3 or 4 times and one of the bullets grazed ASAP Relly's hand. ASAP Relly, ASAP Rocky used to be best friends. Okay, so during the hearing, Rocky's attorney actually put up a still image of ASAP Relly's hand and said that it's, quote, ridiculous to believe that a bullet did that. Rocky's attorney actually implies that maybe it was a punch that created the wound on ASAP Relly's hand. So eventually the judge ruled that in light of the video evidence and ASAP Relly's testimony, there is enough probable cause for ASAP Rocky to have to stand trial for the charges.
Here, the totality of the video and testimonial evidence from the complaining witness is such that the court finds, in fact, there is sufficient evidence to find the charged crimes were committed and more than sufficient cause to believe that Mr. Mears is guilty of having committed that as charged. For purposes of preliminary hearing, he will be held to answer to counts 1 and 2. And he will be arraigned in 2 weeks, I think that's.
So he will be formally arraigned for the first-degree assault with the firearm charges on January 8th. And because I was there in person, here is a clip of ASAP's attorney after the hearing. When the clip starts, he's talking about the injuries to ASAP Relly's hand.
That was crazy. Well, I know they didn't look like bullet wounds to you based on that question. I mean, I got more. I hit that side podium. My knuckles they're much worse than that thing, right?
That was crazy. Definitely not bullet wounds.
Definitely not bullet wounds. Well, I don't have to say bullet because that's why jury's going to come into play here. Common sense is going to prevail, and we're going to, we're going to get him through this, and he's going to be vindicated. But the evidence we have that they don't know about is going to be devastating.
Would you have to put Mr. Mears on the stand?
Yeah, sure. It's a possibility. It's way too early for that business. I've been doing this for 1 or 2 years. So I can tell you that it's not proper or appropriate to make a trial decision like defendant testifying, a year before trial, whatever the trial's going to be. But is there a possibility? Absolutely a possibility. Okay.
If Brianna wanted to come to court to support him in trial, what would you tell her? Would you think that's a good idea?
Listen. This is who Rocky is. He would never subject his family. He wants to shield them. So he's handling it like Rocky would handle something. He protects his family, and that's it. So, all right, guys, I gotta go. All right.